Hi. I couldn't sleep last night. I was tossing and tossing. I was really, really disappointed in the way Will Smith handled the situation at the Oscar. How many of you saw that Will Smith walked up and slapped Chris Rock, a married man with children, that came up to make a presentation and decided to, tease a couple of people as is a normal tradition at the Oscar? And Will Smith gets up and slaps him. We were all confused because even when you look at the close shot, he was laughing initially, but he probably saw the frown on his wife's face and was like, I'm not going to deal with this later back home, and got up and went and slapped Chris Rock over a joke, a G.I.J. joke. And even if he was disappointed at the joke or embarrassed, or he felt his wife was insulted in any form of way, couldn't he have waited till they got backstage and had that conversation with Chris Rock? And even if he was so irritated or irritated that he couldn't wait, couldn't he have addressed that situation in a more diplomatic way when he came up to receive his award? But Will Smith, who have always been a big, huge supporter, always followed him, whatever he did. I don't think there's any movie that Will Smith has been in that I haven't seen. I don't think there's any episode that I have missed in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I probably have seen all like 6 times. I was really, really disappointed because it was just a joke. That is what comedians do. Will Will Smith have reacted this way if it was Billy Crystal? Will Will Smith have reacted this way if it was Eddie Murphy? If it was Dave Chappelle? If it was Tiffany Haddish? We have tons of comedians. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. And before then, we had people like Sammy Davis. They roast people. That's what you do at the Oscars. You don't get up and slap everybody because you find their joke distasteful. And on Instagram, his friend DJ Jazz is praising him, saying things like, he's no longer just a prince, he's now a king. A king does not go about slapping everybody because they made a joke about them or their family. You have to pick your battles, and you have to choose the time, and then you have to let go some things and just walk away, because you have to think, futuristic kind of thinking. Really, in the moment, you have to take time and say, if I react this way, what's going to be the consequences? That is what real men do. Denzel Washington would have done that. Viola Davis would have done that. Oprah would have done that. Tyler Perry would have done that. There are so many people. I can't vouch for all of them, but I am sure that these people would have thought. Will Smith should have thought about his mother, who was in her knitting club watching him receive his award for the King's, is it the Kingsman? King Richard. Yes, pardon me, King Richard. He doesn't feel like a king to me right now. I don't know what his wife will be saying, if she'll be patting him on the back. I think she should be calling Chris Rock's wife and apologizing. Because Donald Trump called black people all kinds of names. And we have been experiencing a lot of racism and discrimination practices for years and decades and generations. And instead of us to unite and fight the real enemies, we are fighting ourselves. That was wrong. Will Smith said, when he came to accept his speech, he said, He said, love makes you do all kinds of things. Yes, love makes you go away from home or, buy something, that you can't even afford. Love makes you write some poetries and just want to sweep that person that you love off their feet and do wonderful things, take them to a faraway place, spoil them and all that. It shouldn't make you go back beating everybody just to prove that, you're protecting them. The younger generations are watching how we handle ourselves. You know, we are teaching them wrongly when we tell them that we should do it with our fist. It is wrong. Will Smith was wrong. I know he's your hero. I even had you know, argument with my son saying, "Oh, you're just going to abandon him now. He's no longer your fan. You're no longer his fan just because he made an error." No, he's a younger generation. He doesn't really get it. What I was trying to explain to him on Twitter right now, there are tons, millions under a few minutes that Will Smith that thing happened. There were a million views, a million commentaries, and by now I cannot even imagine how many people are speaking about the situation. It's trending on all over social media, and everybody have their own opinions. They are right to have their own opinions, but I don't follow popular opinion. I follow the truth, especially when I saw it with my own eyes, and I will speak and always stand for the truth because I am a daughter of my father. So Will Smith, you were wrong to do that, and you owe Chris Rock an apology, and you had a platform that you could have used when you came up to accept your speech. You should have used it. You also embarrassed your family. That is not the way to go. Your children, Jaden and Trey and Willow, were watching. What will you explain when you get there? I was defending your mother's honor. That was really wrong. Denzel Washington was watching you. Samuel L. Jackson was in that room. Wesley Snipes were in that room. They have been through a lot of discrimination, or they have heard a lot of insults in their lives. They've seen stuff, but they chose to keep quiet and walk away. Those are the kind of things that you could have said to backstage, or even a year or a couple of years later. I wish you well, Will Smith. I wish you good mental health for you and your wife. I'm sorry you felt dissed or you know slighted, or that a joke was in bad favor or bad taste to you. But you were not the only ones in that room at the Oscar auditorium that was teased. Just before you, Chris Rock teased a couple right behind you or somewhere in the auditorium, and told them that if one of them won, what would the other person say, and some kind of stuff, and he picked on people. And before that, they also, other people were teased in that auditorium. You have to know when to walk away and when to forgive and when to laugh for real. This is your image diva. I wish you well, and I say always make right choices, because when you make the wrong choice, it might haunt you for the rest of your life. Thank you for listening.